Hi, I'm Eddie Robinson, morning news anchor at Houston Public Media. Welcome to Preservation Houston's 2020 Good Brick Tour. Thank you for being with us as we bring this year's tour to you in a new format. Preservation Houston has presented the Good Brick Awards since 1979 to recognize outstanding historic preservation projects and the people who make them happen. The Good Brick Tour has taken place since 2014 to give visitors an inside look at these award-winning historic homes and buildings and demonstrate the value of historic preservation in Houston. Today I want to take you to a unique residence in one of the oldest buildings in the Market Square Historic District, Houston's original downtown. The Foley Building story began in 1889 when merchant William Foley built a 3-story commercial building on the ruins of an older structure that had been destroyed by fire. Newspapers at the time described the new Foley Building as magnificent and palatial. It was a handsome addition to what was then a bustling city of about 30,000 people. The Foley Building had a prime location at the heart of what was then Houston's commercial district, a couple of blocks from the port at Allen's Landing, and just across Congress Avenue from the City Hall and Public Market on Market Square. Foley chose well-known architect Eugene Heiner to design his new building. Heiner, a New York native, moved to Texas in the late 1870s and made a name for himself, designing courthouses and public buildings around the state, as well as a number of homes and buildings in Houston and Galveston. One of his best-known local buildings, the beautiful Houston Cotton Exchange, built in 1884, is a few doors down from the Foley Building. Heiner gave the Foley Building an ornate facade with decorative brickwork, decorative stone accents, and large arched windows. It was a typical eclectic Victorian commercial design, which blended elements of classical, Romanesque, and Renaissance revival styles, often using colorful materials and distinctive brick and stonework. A cast iron canopy over the sidewalk protected pedestrians from sun and rain. Canopies like this were common on 19th century Houston buildings, but it's fairly rare to find one that has survived intact. William Foley moved his successful dry goods store into the Foley Building in 1895. The store also occupied part of an older building next door, which Foley remodeled so that it complemented the newer architecture, using the same design elements in a slightly different color scheme. That portion of Foley's property now houses Hearsay Gastro Lounge. The Foley family operated the store here until 1948. If the Foley name sounds familiar to longtime Houstonians, it's because of William Foley's nephews, James and Pat Foley. They learned the dry goods business working for their uncle before striking out on their own in 1900. The store they founded, Foley Brothers, grew into the Foley's department store chain. After William Foley's store closed, the Foley Building had a variety of tenants, and it was almost lost to fire twice. In 1976, a blaze broke out in a pizza parlor on the ground floor and caused smoke damage upstairs. Then, in 1989, what's now the Hearsay Building caught fire, and the Foley Building again suffered smoke and water damage. Fortunately, a group of dedicated preservationists brought and restored the building in the mid-1990s. The rehabilitation included repairing fire damage, replacing the roof, cleaning and repairing the century-old facade, and running new electrical plumbing and HVAC systems. Preservation Houston recognized their work with a Good Brick Award in 1996. The new owners kept retail space on the ground floor and recognized the potential of the wide-open upper stories with their high ceilings, large arched windows, and high-quality materials. They divided the second floor into loft apartments, which were among the earliest residential units in the Main Street Market Square Historic District. We're going to see one of them today. Although the loft is modern, the building's history fills it with character. 4 large windows flood the open living and dining area with natural light, and exposed brick walls add texture to almost every room. The bare brick shows off 130-year-old construction techniques like the relieving arches over the windows, which help distribute the building's weight, and a jagged seam in the wall, where structural red brick changes to the more refined materials used on the Travis Street facade. Original longleaf pine floors were left exposed in the restoration. Take a closer look, and you'll see decades worth of nail holes left by the Foley Building's many occupants. Interior designer Andra White combined old and new elements throughout the residence. These shelves are an example. They're made of wood taken from floor joists removed from the building during the restoration. Other elements came from farther afield, like the tall antique louvered doors that separate the guest bedroom from the living area. The doors were salvaged from a historic home in New Orleans. Art is everywhere in this loft, which is a nod to another chapter in the Foley Building's history. From 1983 to 1989, the nonprofit arts organization Diverse Works had gallery and studio space here. James Bettison, a well-known Diverse Works artist from the period, worked in the building and painted the large, colorful canvas that hangs in the living area. Diverse Works artists also painted the murals that make the open kitchen a colorful focal point. The homeowner's art collection includes work by Texas-born artist Bill Haveron, whose narrative pieces combine his Lone Star roots with elements of medieval art, political commentary, and pop culture. And Gabrielle Trubinsky, who painted wood slats with the colorful names of Matatu, the minibuses found on the streets of her native Nairobi, Kenya. A tiny birdhouse hanging on the wall is the work of Michael Galbraith and Jack Massing, the Houston artists known as the Art Guys. A hallway leads from the living and dining area to the owner's suite at the back of the building. The comfortable primary bedroom takes up most of the loft's 25-foot width. Although the ceiling here is 13 feet, as it is in nearly every room, its deep gunmetal color plays off the historic brick and wood floors to create a warm, intimate feeling. The old brick walls here reveal some of the building's inner workings. There are channels in the brick where wiring or pipes once ran, as well as a long sealed opening high on the rear wall where a stovepipe once connected to a flue. A reminder of the way 19th century buildings like this one were originally heated. As you'd expect, there is art in the bedroom, including a striking mixed media piece by James Bettison and a set of pop art style prints by artist Mark Flood, showing commercial scenes from Houston's downtown and East End. Down a back staircase is one of the Foley Building's hidden treasures, a secluded courtyard behind the building. The area originally had functional uses. It was built to contain a cistern for water collection and a privy, or enclosed freestanding toilet. Today, it's a secret garden for the building's tenants that feels worlds away from the noise and crowds of downtown. Courtyards like this were once common in Houston's commercial district, but few of them survive. The industrial remnants back here are bits of old elevator machinery that have been removed from the building. Part of it was repurposed as a table. Although the Foley Building has found new life as retail and residential space, reminders of its storied past are everywhere. walls that bear the signs of more than a century of alterations, soot that still stains the stout wooden beams and columns from the fires that nearly destroyed the building, and even fragments of a receipt from William Foley's dry goods store that was discovered during the restoration. If these walls could talk, they would tell the story of more than 150 years of history, and how one of Houston's oldest commercial buildings, which was nearly lost forever, is once again a vital part of our urban landscape. I hope you enjoyed seeing this downtown Houston treasure. To view other Good Brick Tour videos, please visit preservationhouston.org/goodbricktour. If you donate $25 or more to the Good Brick Tour, you'll receive access to a special bonus video exploring the Esperson buildings downtown, including a trip to the top of the iconic Niels Esperson building. You can donate on the website or by texting Good Brick to 44321. Your contribution supports Preservation Houston's public service, community outreach, and education programs. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Eddie Robinson.